Hear the applause, but nothing's happening. There we go. There we go. Okie doke. Today's agenda is what's in the State of the Union and seeing what sort of fuckery is going on. Well, to be fair, we kind of know what's already going to happen because I've read the news, I've read the updates, so... Oh my god, look at... What? That's the first fucker. Look at the... Look at the eyes of that lady there. That's the eyes of horror. I don't know who the hell that is. Is that Ozzy? Imagine... like, people are saying I look like Ozzy Osbourne, but goddamn. If you just, like, change the red shirt to, like, a black one, that's Ozzy Osbourne. That's a demonic look right there. Not saying that demons exist, but that is a demonic look. You don't know, you have no idea what's it like here. You mean in the United States? I have a pretty good grasp what's going on there. One major change, like, if we compared this to, like, almost 10 years ago, is that the cult mentality is in, like, full display more than 10 years ago. We're supposed to be the best. These weirdos are castrating kids and yanking out babies after 8 months of pregnancy. You see it every day. I know Democrats would attack their own if you don't agree with their cult program. What up, Live Today 22? I think it's a bit different. Like, there's of course, like, the old guard of Democrats that are always going to be in line with what the party leaders are demanding that the Democrats do, but there's a different generation coming up that is kind of against that as well. So there's a division inside the Democrats as well. There's that cult mentality inside the Democrats as well. And also there's a few Republicans as well who are, like, opening their eyes of that the cult not necessarily is the best thing. Another cult member thinking it's about red versus blue. That is true. But I'm not a Democrat, so I can criticize Democrats as much as I want to, and I'm a Republican, so I can criticize Republicans as much as I want to.
Members of Congress, I have the high privilege and distinct honor of presenting to you the President of the United States.
I hope, like, people are saying that there's common sense in the United States again, which is, again, like, complete bullshit. But I would hope that the people who are claiming that common sense is back in the United States would fucking use some common sense. You know, if your cult leader is doing some fuckery, you call out that fuckery. Whether your cult leader is on the left or on the right side. That's common sense. You call out BS when you see BS. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, thank you very much, everybody. It's really an honor. Speaker Johnson, Vice President Vance, First Lady of the United States. Second Lady of the United States.
The movie star. I've always said that God is a really evil being, and for creating like bone cancer for children. But if also God is responsible for Trump being Trump, that just like hammers down the point of like God is not necessarily really nice or good.
Members of Congress and my fellow Americans, our nation is back, bigger, better, richer, and stronger than ever before.
Wait. I don't have my bingo cards ready. Let's see, just a second. Where's my bingo cards? Dun, 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 dun. There we go. Did Trump resign as everyone is cheering like that? No, Oscar, unfortunately not. Unfortunately not. Although that would be hilarious, but no. They are not. I have my bingo cards ready. He just canceled cancer research for kids. Oh yeah, exactly. So, did we hit already the first one? So... didn't call Melania a movie star yet. No, not on this bingo card. I remember there being something about we're back, but apparently not yet. If God exists, he won't hand anything to anyone on a plate. It would be too easy. And then that's a fucking bad God then. Require more from your God. If I'm still on this channel, I can't wait to get to the part when he said that Somali pie. Oh my God.
less than 5 months from now, our country will celebrate an epic milestone in American history, the 250th anniversary of our glorious American independence. This July 4th, we will mark 2.5 centuries of liberty and triumph, progress and freedom in the most incredible and exceptional nation ever to exist on the face of the earth. And you've seen nothing yet. We're going to do better and better and better. This is the golden age of America.
Did we have golden age here? No golden age here. We should have had golden age here. No. Imagine that. That's Howard Lutnick there. Being friends with a pedophile, known pedophile, convicted pedophile, and you get a front row seat. That's the fucking ad for the United States. Be friends with a pedophile, you get a front row seat. Imagine that's a really good like reward.
When I last spoke in this chamber 12 months ago, I had just inherited a nation in crisis with a stagnant economy, inflation at record levels, a wide open border, horrendous recruitment for military and police, rampant crime at home, and wars and chaos all over the world. But tonight, after just 1 year, I can say with dignity and pride that we have achieved a transformation like no one has ever seen before.
That phrase we have here says nobody ever seen anything like it. That's close enough. He said that he inherited a stagnant economy with record levels of inflation. That's not completely accurate. Like, the economy wasn't stagnant. For example, the job growth was going well. Inflation was about 3% in January 2025. So that's not completely accurate, but it's again Trump, so.
And a turnaround for the ages. It is indeed a turnaround for the ages.
I agree with him on that, because no one has done more illegal things to the nation where it is now.
And we will never go back to where we were just a very short time ago. We're not going back. Today our border is secure. Thanks.
Disrespect to seniors and vets.
Today our border is secure. Our spirit is restored. Inflation is plummeting. Incomes are rising fast. The roaring economy is roaring like never before. And our enemies are scared. Our military and police are stacked.
He says that inflation is plummeting, but if the inflation was around 3% when he took office and it's about 2.4 now, 0.6% is not plummeting. Imagine letting your guy ruin your country and you cheer on him. I mean, we are inventing like new definitions for English words. Plummeting kind of means a bit of a steeper decrease than 0.6% in a year. But then again, everything needs to be exaggerated. Everything needs to be bigger and better than before. He even needs to one-up himself every single time.
And America is respected again, perhaps like never before. After 4 years in which millions and millions of illegal aliens poured across our borders, totally unvetted and unchecked, we now have the strongest and most secure border in American history by far. In the past 9 months, 0 illegal aliens have been admitted to the United States. But we will always allow people to come in legally, people that will love our country and will work hard to maintain our country. The flow of deadly fentanyl across our border is down by a record 56% in 1 year. And last year, the murder rate saw its single largest decline in recorded history. This is the biggest decline, think of it, in recorded history, the lowest number in over 125 years, year 1900. In fact, substantially before my wonderful father, I had a wonderful father, Fred, before he was born, substantially before he was born. That's a long time ago. He wouldn't like me to say that, but that's a long time
Drug
ago.
dealers reporting to IRS
The
now.
Biden administration and its allies in Congress gave us the worst inflation in the history of our country. But in 12 months, my administration has driven core inflation down to the lowest level in more than 5 years. And in the last 3 months of 2025, it was down to 1.7%.
1.7%, eh? So I wouldn't say 3% is a bad inflation number, especially if the inflation is around like 2.4, but I guess 1.7 is the one that he's talking about. But again, you need to make everything sound worse and everything sound like that he's doing it more than anyone else.
Gasoline, which reached a peak of over $6 a gallon in some states under my predecessor, it was quite honestly a disaster, is now below $2.30 a gallon in most states, and in some places, $1.99 a gallon. And when I visited the great state of Iowa just a few weeks ago, I even saw $1.85 a gallon for gasoline.
No state average is below $2.30. Lowest is $2.37 in Oklahoma. National average is $2.92, down from $3.11 at an inaccuracy, not $5. The $1.85 claim does not match Iowa's prices, which is $2.57 per average. So once again, like, if he just said like the correct averages or numbers, like, they would be still good, but he needs to make them sound better, you know. $3.12 in Michigan. Yeah, Iowa like $2.57 is average.
The lowest in 4 years and falling fast, and the annual cost of a typical new mortgage is down almost $5,000 just since I took office. 1 year. And low interest rates will solve the Biden-created housing problem well. At the same
But if he says like that, that's sort of a fucking blanket statement that some states and some city in like Iowa or some town in Iowa, like, that doesn't mean anything.
time protecting the values of those people who already own a house that really feel rich for the first time in their lives. We want to protect those values. We want to keep those values up. We're going to do both. And we are going to keep it that way. The stock
Here-
market has set 53 all-time record highs since the election. Think of that. 1 year. Boosting pensions, 401ks, and retirement accounts for the millions and millions of Americans.
What up, Mario?
They're all gaining. Everybody's up, way up. In 4 long years, the last administration got less than $1 trillion in new investment in the United States. And when I say less, substantially less. In 12 months, I secured commitments for more than $18 trillion pouring in from all over the globe.
White House figures cite 9.7 trillion, unverified and non-binding, but actual US investments runs at 5.4 trillion annually, with foreign direct investment at 151 billion in 2024. So if the White House figures are under 10 trillion, which is still incredible, unverified and non-binding, but still incredible, again, why make the number sound bigger? Like, this is the thing that I never understand. Of course, Trump is a former salesperson, and sales is partially exaggerating your numbers to make it sound better than it is and making it easier for the buyer to accept. It's technically lying, or not, well, misleading, to be fair. So some might call it frauding, but 18 trillions, there's no proof of that. We're going to see a bigger number this year. Trump is probably going to say in 2026 he got like twice that, so it's 36 trillion in global investments. It's not a flex when regular Americans don't see that money. That is true.
Think of it, much less than $1 trillion for 4 years versus much more than $18 trillion.
Gas has been fluctuating between $2.38, $2.23, and today I saw $2.15. Those are incredible numbers. Those are incredible low numbers. And those are by the gallon, not by the liter. So that makes it even better.
For
Because
1 year.
because you have freedom units. You're not using the units that we are using. You have freedom units.
What a difference a president makes. A short time ago, we were a dead country. Now we are.
Didn't we have a dead country here somewhere? So let's see. I don't think we had anything yet. Affordability, didn't mention that yet technically. Didn't mention Dow. Did mention stocks in general, but didn't mention Dow. No autopen yet. My bingo card is looking kind of empty still. We have says nobody ever seen anything like it. That we do have. Lies about the economy. Well, there you go. We have two squares. Okay, so we have two squares here. But remember, he stole oil. True. Europe is taken. You probably shouldn't laugh at us for trying to save ours. I don't know in which fucking delusional world you live in, but Europe is not taken. But then again, if you make a claim like that, I don't take that seriously. I'll donate $500 if you can name a single swing state Kamala won. You, like, this might be a surprise for you, dumb, but I didn't like Kamala. I didn't like Biden either. So that's a weird catch you're trying to do. I think Biden was a horrible candidate for the Democrats. And changing it to Kamala was even worse of a decision.
We're the hottest country anywhere in the world, the hottest. As thousands of new businesses are forming and factories, plants, and laboratories are being built, we have added 7.
Mohammed is the #1 baby name in half of Europe. And what's your point? And there's 3 ways of spelling it. You think that's a threat or an issue? Taken. You're afraid of names. Good job.
70,000 new construction jobs in just a very short period of time. It's getting bigger and bigger and stronger. Nobody can believe what they're watching. American oil production is up by more than 600,000 barrels a day, and we just received from our new friend and partner, Venezuela, more than 80 million barrels of oil.
No, I mean, Trump, to be fair, you stole the fucking oil from Venezuela. You invaded Venezuela and you're leading the government there. So they didn't really have a choice not to donate the fucking oil. They didn't have a choice. If you simplify it to being afraid of names, you don't understand the issue or are purposely pretending not to understand. I mean, unlike a lot of people who are afraid of like immigrants in Europe, I'm not. No.
American natural gas production is at an all-time high because I kept my promise to drill, baby, drill. More Americans are working today than at any time in the history of our country. Think about that. Any time in the history of our country, more working today. And 100% of all jobs created under my administration have been in the private sector.
I'm worried about religious extremists in general. Well, that I do agree with. Like, I in my opinion, I agree with you. Like, all religions should be like reduced to minimum. 100%. I'm an atheist. I have no fucking allegiances to any religion. In my opinion, if you want to believe in something, that's completely fine. But when you start to justify your acts of evil because of religion, that's where it becomes an issue. Or if you put religion into politics, whether it's Christianity, whether it's Islam, whether it's Judaism, whether it's Hinduism, whatever the religion is. When you put religion in politics, that's when it comes to a bit of an issue. So yeah, we can talk about religion all you want. Like, we can talk about religion all day long. He said 100% that's on your bingo card. What did he say? Fuck. What did I miss?
$18 trillion pouring in from all over the globe. Think of it, much less than $1 trillion for 4 years versus much more than $18 trillion for 1 year. What a difference a president makes. A short time ago, we were a dead country. Now,
you don't care about religion, but there is an Islamic extremist group who definitely does care about your views. That is true. Also, there's Christian nationalist who cares about my views about religion as well, and also like abortion rights for women. They're like, you can pick a religion and they disagree with a lot of things that I believe in. That's why I think religion should stay out of politics. They're so fucking like outdated. I don't have a belief. Let's talk. Do you see how dumb that sounds? That doesn't sound dumb, you idiot. I like talking about religion because I've read a lot about religion. And again, I'm an atheist. But I don't say that 100% all religions should be destroyed. Because if it's your personal belief, just fucking go for it. But if you start to doing evil acts based on your religion, claiming that your God is providing you permission to do those things, no, that's when I have an issue. But my Christianity, I mean, what the fuck? Like, let's treat all religions equally. Like, is there extremist in Islam? Fuck yeah. Is there extremist in Christianity? Hell fucking yes. There's even extremist in Hinduism. Let's treat those extremist groups the same. But no, because, you know, you want to pick and choose. Let's pick and choose. I even condemn fucking atheists who do horrible things. Even though they don't base it on belief, but there are atheists who are fucking horrible. Hey Jay, thanks for the sub.
Now we are the hottest country anywhere in the world, the hottest.
All cultures and religions are not the same.
As thousands of new businesses are forming in factories, plants, and laboratories are being built.
Yeah, atheists have no moral values. You guys cause the most trouble. That's fucking hilarious. And again, is because I don't believe lumping me into that group of people. Like 100% there's horrible atheists in the history of the world. Fuck yeah. But you think like my atheism has anything to do with that? That's the sort of mentality that you lump every single Muslim in the same group of Muslim extremists. That's when you lump every single Christian into the same category as child predators of those priests who fucking molested those children. Like, let's treat the horrible fucking acts as horrible acts, you know? My fucking God, like. So we'll ignore, that's exactly what I said. Oh, crap, yeah, that's exactly what I said.
We have added 70,000 new construction.
Bogos, you have a bit of an issue there, like, who is the arbiter of, like, picking and choosing, like,
nobody can believe what they're watching.
what words do we take as, like, truth?
600,000 barrels a day, and we just received from our new friend and partner, Venezuela, more than 80 million barrels of oil. American natural gas production is at an all-time high because I kept my promise to drill, baby, drill.
Oh, sorry, Bogos, I thought you said the polar opposite. Like Bogos, the original one, I thought you said actually the polar opposite.
More Americans are working today than at any time in the history of our country. Think about that. Any time in the history of our country, more working today. and 100% of all jobs created under my administration have been in the private sector.
SOTU, that's the bit of an issue, like, you believe that you have morals because of a higher being. I believe, I don't even believe, but like humans have evolved around the history to know what is morally right and what is morally wrong. Not because of a higher being, by experience. And by transforming the society that we live in.
And in 1 year, we have lifted 2.4 million Americans, a record, off of food stamps. And for all of these reasons, I say tonight, members of Congress, the state of our union is strong.
Politics defeat my logic. By what authority do you even get to say that is the winning argument and you don't have the answer because you already know the answer? You're your own God. I don't believe in a thing called God, so I can't really be my own God. And again, it's kind of pointless to argue about somebody's belief because it's what it is. It is your belief. So if you want to believe in a God, go for it. I have nothing against it. It's your personal belief. But when you start imposing that personal belief in others, forcing them to do something because of your belief, that's when it becomes an issue. But like personal beliefs, go for it. Like, again, because we all know that there are people in the world that, because they don't know something, they are hoping that there is somebody watching them, or they don't know what's going to happen in the future when they die, what's after death or something. They need that to comfort them because they are afraid. So they need that higher power to throw their faith after death, or faith what's going to happen, or because they're questioning what's happening now or what happened to their loved ones or something like that. They need to throw that to somebody. There are people who need that. The guy who only gets his morals from a god is speaking of dishonesty. The guy who gets his morals from the world is speaking dishonesty. Groupthink, enforcing your ideology upon others. Okay, this is the last section of the fucking religious conversation, because as I said, arguing against people who believe is kind of pointless. If a police officer is standing next to you, do you do a crime or change your mind? What do you base what is a crime on? Because if you're a religious person, something that is considered a crime in society might be legal underneath your God. So if you claim your God gave you permission, your God has a higher authority than the police officer. But then, so I wouldn't do the crime. But I wouldn't do the crime, even if the police officer wasn't there. The funny thing about, let's say, murder or killing, one of the 10 commandments, is that a lot of religious scriptures are saying religious people are interpreting the scriptures differently now. That it is not about killing, it's something else. So I agree with that. Like, can we now go back to the State of the Union? Don't get me wrong, I love like talking about religion. I have my favorite like religions, don't get me wrong, like because I've read a lot of the stories from different religions, and I have to say they are fucking good stories. But if you like, especially if you treat them as stories, there are some good like stories amongst all the religions of the world. But like, okay, one more thing about religion. I hate those nitpickers. Those religious nitpickers. For it happens in Islam, it happens in Hinduism. Not less, actually, not that much in Hinduism, but it happens in like Christianity and Islam, and those who pick and choose what parts of like their religion they're gonna abide to, and just ignore the ones that would make them do more. You know, that would need some effort. They would need to give up something. All of a sudden, that's not as important. I hate those nitpickers, you know. That's my final sent on religious people. Those are usually the extreme versions of like people who believe. Those are the extremists that we talked about earlier. They are the ones who are usually pick and choosing. Like the Southern Baptist Church members in the United States and some Muslim communities, especially some Muslim communities. For example, in Africa. Suffice to say, anyone who only acts in a good way based on the holy book their parents conned them into believing are usually the largest pieces of shit. I mean, my mother was a highly religious person. We went to church when I was younger, and I did read the Bible quite a few times. But then my godmother came from the United Kingdom and provided me some older versions of Bible, which raised a few like red flags. Like, wait a second, why aren't these stories the same? Second of all, why are there fewer stories? What happened to the other stories? Why weren't they removed? Why is the Finnish version of the Bible different than the British version? Why does Britain have multiple different versions, like depending on what century are you reading it from? So that was my first like touch up on getting away from religion. Thanks to my English godmother. She and my mother were best friends, and she just wanted to fuck around like with my mom, trying to make her kids like question church. She succeeded quite well because like I think every single one of us, like all of my siblings, my two brothers and my big sister, all of us are atheists. I don't know if it was just because of her, because every single one of us kind of like realized it in different times. Wait a second, live today 22 didn't post any links. Don't worry, live for today. I'll post it again. It's because you didn't have a space bar after the period. There we go. Each time they translate scriptures, they have to change it, and many of the scriptures, the words were changed. Bots are dumb. I agree. There was no space after the period, so that's why it said that. You post the link. All right, let's go back to bingo. Somebody said that I already have something from the bingo card. Well, we had the nobody ever seen like anything like this that lies about the economy. But I don't think we have anything else. Other than sounds out of breath, but that's a freebie. I think we're still like just 2 squares into the bingo card.
Our country is winning again. In fact, we're winning so much that we really don't know what to do about it. People are asking me, please, 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 Mr. President, we're winning too much.
This goes under the mumble something incoherent, right? This is mumbling something incoherent.
We can't take it anymore. We're not used to winning in our country. Until you came along, we're just always losing, but now we're winning too much. And I say, no, 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 you're going to win again. You're going to win big. You're going to win bigger than ever. And to prove that point, here with us tonight is a group of winners who just made the entire nation proud. The men's gold medal Olympic hockey team. Come on in.
Definitely understands the words. Yeah, we understand, but it mumbles something incoherent, which is like... None of that really made any sense. Okay. Brad, I didn't get that. Okay. We didn't get that mumble incoherently. It's called warm-up of the hockey team.
Great athletes have gotten that, very great, the best, and I thought he deserved it. And I did take a vote, every single one of them. I said, I'm not giving it if anybody goes no, and every single one of them rapidly put up their hand. So I want to thank you. What a special job you did. What special champions you are. Thank you very much.
Connor Hellebuck. I have to say, without Connor Hellebuck in the being the goaltender for the United States, they would have lost quite badly. Connor Hellebuck was the reason that the United States won. And I'm a huge ice hockey fan. I'm from Finland, of course. And I've been following ice hockey ever since I can watch TV. So, and ice hockey is huge in Finland. And I follow the NHL all the time. So Connor Hellebuck, anyone who watched the Olympics, Connor Hellebuck 100% was the best player on the United States roster. Like, the match between the United States and Canada, like the final, without Hellebuck on the second period and the third period, Canada would have had so many goals. He's blathering about fucking sports. He's devoid of any rational intelligence. This is an hour and 48-minute speech. Just heads up, I've listened to it 3 times. Brad, you need help. No, just kidding.
I'm also pleased to say that the next time the Olympic torch is lit, it will be here in America for the 2028 Olympics, and it's the summer version right in Los Angeles. We're going to do a good job in Los Angeles.
Okay, we're probably gonna get on the... This is like a transition to California, right? Why is everyone fucking standing up all the time?
And Los Angeles is going to be safe, just like Washington, D.C. is now one of the safest cities in the country.
All of them are so afraid of their jobs that they need to stand up.
And this year, and I must say I got them both. I got them in my first term, and I was disappointed because I didn't think I'd be the president when this happened. But strange things took place, and now I've got them because I got the Olympics, and I got the 2026 FIFA World Cup, and I wanted to claim the 250th, but I didn't get away with that one. I couldn't claim that one for myself. But we're getting the World Cup, so we have the World Cup and the Olympics coming, and that is exciting news.
No, Trump is that. We do know why Trump was elected as president, right? The first time he was elected as to be the president because he ran against Hillary Clinton. No offense to Hillary, but like, I don't know. You could pick a homeless person from the street and they would have probably won against Hillary. Trump didn't really do anything on his first term. He promised a lot on his campaign, but he really didn't deliver that much. But on his second term, he promised the same things again, and at least now, even though what he's doing is borderline questionable, he's at least like claiming some of those promises he made during the campaign.
So this will be a year to celebrate our country and the heroes who have kept it free. Men like Buddy Taggart. At age 17, Buddy volunteered to defend America in World War II, serving in the Pacific under the great General Douglas MacArthur. He fought bravely in the famous Battle of Manila, worked so hard. He was badly wounded and almost killed by enemy machine guns in Luzon. And 81 years ago this month, he liberated...
Okay, we got another one. We got the... No, it's a freebie, so yeah. Sounds out of breath. I just started noticing that Trump is breathing quite heavily every time he's like having a pause.
But he earned many honors, including a Purple Heart and a Bronze Star, came home, started a family, and tonight he is in the gallery looking forward to July 4th, 2026, his 100th birthday.
He's 80. 79. But to be fair, we've had this discussion in the chat in the past, especially on TikTok, but like, in my opinion, no president, there shouldn't be a president who's over 60. He can start the term when he's 60. So it's 64 when he gets out. But there should be a fucking age gap. Especially if you have as much power. His mouth is drooping. I can see... I've noticed the same thing for a while. But like... Especially in the United States where the president has so much power, there should be an age gap. Like, we saw it with Biden. Like, that age is more than just a number. And we're seeing it with Trump as well. Like, when you get to that high 70s, almost 80s, like Biden showed and also Trump is showing, you're a bit too fucking old. There are younger talent. There are more younger people that could do exactly what these old fucks are doing. You know, if the president didn't have as much power in the United States, then then it wouldn't be that big of an issue, you know. Then you could have a person who's 100 years old be the president because they don't have that ultimate power to fuck up everything. Not just for the United States, but, you know, surrounding countries and other continents as well. The same as in a lot of like European countries. Like the president is just usually involved in foreign policies, but they can't do any legislation by themselves. A ceremonial position. But there is an argument like, why even have a president? And I do agree.
So
why
Buddy,
even have
you're
a president?
brave man, and we salute you. even in times of challenge, setback, and immense heartache, the spirit of 1776 has always shone through very brightly. It was July 4th of last year when floodwaters tore through a girls' summer camp in Central Texas. One of the worst things I've ever seen. I was there, rising 26 feet in the matter of minutes, tragically claiming many, many lives. You all remember that one. As the waters threatened to sweep her away, 11-year-old Millie Kate McClelland closed her eyes and prayed to God. She thought she was going to die. Those prayers were answered when Coast Guard rescue swimmer Scott Ruskin descended from a helicopter above. Nobody knew where he came
What's
from.
us back to
It was
1776?
Scott's first ever rescue mission. A young guy, but very brave, very, very top, always top in his class. And he lifted not just Millie Kate, but 164 others to safety. Extraordinary heroism. Thank you.
Okay. Now we have a bit of a conversation in the chat. So, when MAGA are saying "Make America Great Again," what is the decade we're talking about? Are you here legally? Yes, I am. Get rid of the representation and give every citizen the power to introduce a vote of legislation. Can't be any worse. Direct democracy, like in Switzerland. Are you talking about like something like that? People who are from the Americas, you might want to see what the direct democracy that Switzerland has. It's not a time period. I don't think you'd understand. No. Please too, tell me. There's a lot of like confusion amongst MAGA as well. What does that mean? A lot of different influential people inside MAGA are like stating different things. Some are stating different time periods. Some are stating that it's when white families used to run only, which is kind of also telltale that we're talking about like 1950s, 60s. You know, that America was only for whites. When Christianity was the majority religion, nobody spoke any other language. When women were at home and when men used to work only. The same as Charlie Kirk said, that should be the norm. Yes, we need to go back to that. Why? The current state of the United States is better than it's ever been. Period. But it still could be better. You've let your corporations and like foreign entities fuck up your economy and country for too long. You've bailed out insurance companies and banks who fucked you over, and normal citizens needed to pay for that many times. Your fight should be against the corporates, not for like each other. I mean, we were able to afford a whole lifestyle when one income. Yeah, but something changed. Capitalism requires you to have infinite amount of growth. And that is not sustainable. That comes from somebody's backbone. And when you have an uncapped market, markets in plural, the results are that dream that you once had, that you can afford your whole lifestyle in one income, that is not achievable anymore. That has been the trend from the quote unquote golden age of like the the family unit to this point that you can't afford shit. Rents are high, apartments are high, you're not getting paid enough. Everything costs so fucking much that you're gonna declare a bankruptcy if you fucking broke a bone. All the prescriptions are fucking high. That's why, for example, when Trump is fighting against the insurance companies and the pharmacies, like, I'm rooting for that. I've been rooting for that ever since like the mid-2000s. That in the mid-2000s I started like studying what happened in the United States, that all of a sudden people couldn't afford medicine and people couldn't afford like doctor visits. And well, when you follow the breadcrumbs, you land on insurance companies, big pharma, and also the banks. Well, then the banks fucking fell and the insurance companies fell, but they got bailed out and then they went back to their old ways. Those are the fucking reasons why you can't afford that whole lifestyle in one income anymore. If that was tackled, if that problem would be solved, it's an easy solution as well. That could be solved. If that was solved, that would already provide so much more spending power for the normal person. Did you research that Senate Democrats are the reason why we don't have a public option? Trump RX is going to keep preference pricing on meds. But the pharmacies are already increasing the prices, though. But again, fighting against the pharmacies and fighting against the insurance companies is a really good thing. Employers are only offering $15 an hour.
I'd like to have the military aid to please come down and take care of the service. Military aid, thank you very much. Take care of that very important service.
Imagine what you could do with that extra $500 billion that you put on your military spending. Have you ever thought about that? A big reason why the United States needs such a big military spending is because they fucking make enemies around the world. So they need that military spending. Also because of their friend in the Middle East creating issues, so they need to go and bail them out. Brad, Trump didn't increase the military spending because of Europe. He needs that golden dome. And also when Israel starts a war against Iran, or Syria, or Lebanon, or Jordan. You can't sell touching the military budget to conservatives. I know.
Thank you very much.
But to be fair, that military spending is kind of out of hand. But then again, you have the military oh my fucking god. And military industrial complex that requires wars to be going on. So the government is buying from them so they make money. So that is also corrupt as fuck.
Government answers to the people, not the powerful, and where the interests of hardworking American citizens are always our first and ultimate concern.
I have worked 36 years places, close on part-time now and on my home.
And that is the promise we must keep to America for our 250th year.
I can, Gary, throw that around. Imagine protecting pedophiles instead of children or victims. Bada bing, bada boom. I'm not protecting like illegals. Like, if there's like quote unquote illegal immigrants or illegal aliens, as the United States likes to refer to them, they need to have their process and either go through the process or, like, you know, sent back to sender. But they need to be like processed. Why are they illegal? That's a good question. No. Trump and his admin are kind of busy protecting like the inner circle of Jeffrey Epstein, more than the victims. Certified pedo protectors. I know Midwest. I know ICE arrests people at the courtroom while trying to legally immigrate. I know. And that is fucking bullshit. What ICE is doing is, well, I've referred to ICE many times as like having illegal practices, what they do. Not just illegal, but unconstitutional, to be fair. I'm kind of worried that more American like conservatives aren't like worried about their constitution.
All Democrats, every single one of them, voted against these really important and very necessary massive tax cuts. They wanted large-scale tax increases to hurt the people instead. But we held strong, and with the great, big, beautiful bill, we gave you no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our great seniors. And we also made interest on auto loans tax deductible the first time, but only if
people do not agree with the Constitution, they ought to move out of the United States and take the orange with them. Gary over there, no clue with the Constitution, says I guarantee it.
Megan Hemhauser, a devoted mom who's homeschools her children, beautiful, 2 children.
I've been like during the Minnesota riots when I was like covering it and making videos about it, I was like constantly saying to people that you do remember your Second Amendment rights, that if you have a tyrannical government that is trampling your constitution, you have the right to bear arms to fight against that tyrannical government. And like the First Amendment and the Fourth Amendment was like trampled. So, you know, a lot of don't threat on me people were all of a sudden not that fond of the Second Amendment. Due process for millions. Yes, due process for millions.
Children during the day while waiting tables at night as her husband works overtime operating very heavy equipment. Megan is here this evening and she's happy to tell you that she is so much richer because with no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and her expanded child tax credit done again by Republicans, Megan and her husband will take home more than $5,000 extra just for the year, cutting her tax bill in more than half. Megan,
Carol, please stop
stand
raising
up. We're fighting for you,
unappropriated
Megan.
taxes on everyone with tariffs.
Thank you, Megan.
Please stop raising my income taxes every year.
Thank you, Megan. We're fighting for you, Megan. Under our bill, parents like Megan can also activate their children's brand new Trump accounts.
Wait, we have that. Trump accounts, Trump accounts, Trump accounts. Mentions Trump's accounts. There we go. We got one. But it's on the wrong bingo card. I have this. Nobody ever seen anything like this and lies about the economy on this one. But then we have mentions Trump's accounts on this one. Shit. We're kind of behind schedule here.
And I didn't name it. I did not name that. Nobody believes me, but I did not name it. It was named by a very tall man sitting right there in the third row. Nice man, a good man. Tax-free investment accounts for every American child. This is something that's so special and has taken off and gone through the roof. Millions will be pre-funded courtesy of the U.S. Treasury and private individuals like Michael and Susan Dell, who have donated $6.25 billion to fund the Trump accounts for 25 million American children. They're great people.
You do know billionaires never donate money for free. If you believe any billionaire donates a large sum of money because they're a good person. I mean, there might be good billionaires around there, but if you're a tech billionaire, nope.
You know, I asked
There's probably somewhere a golden handshake.
Michael Dell, how do you make all that money? He said, well, I just sat on my dorm in school and I made computers.
Another way to
sell them
cheat.
to people. And I just kept selling and selling and selling. And pretty amazing story. That's called the American dream. He sold a lot of computers, a lot of those laptops. So I congratulate him on that. But I really thank him and Susan, as well as others like Brad Gerstner, a very tremendous guy. He was behind it right from the beginning. Brad Gerstner. Thank you, Brad.
Billionaires use loans. They get our money from the bank and spend it because of fractional reserve banking. You dumb alt-right people used to understand that. But like Midwest Bayrava, if you think about it, like you can see the switch in the mentality from like being critical of like the super rich and billionaires, which the conservatism and alt-right used to be. If you go to Twitter and see what Alex Jones has switched, Alex Jones doesn't see any conspiracies when it comes to Trump. Alex Jones doesn't see any conspiracies when it comes to Elon Musk. He doesn't see any conspiracies anymore on MIGA because he's a part of it and it's a part of his script. So all of a sudden, he crifts towards that because he knows that his audience is expecting him to do that. That's what the alt-right is. It's a big fucking crift. Nobody should like, after that was from Live for Today 22 because he got censored again. Because there was no space after the period. But like, ever since Sandy Hook, nobody should listen to Alex Jones ever again. What Alex Jones did to the parents of the fucking murdered children in Sandy Hook was fucking horrendously horrible. And I felt really good when he went bankrupt. He should have gone to jail. The best part about this was like his own lawyer fucked him up. His own lawyer leaked the text messages to the family's lawyers. His own lawyer fucked up. That was the face of Alex Jones. When they showed that they have the text messages. Fucking priceless. I am very dubious of Elon. You should be. I am as well. But we do know that Elon, like a lot of people, they have their own agendas that they're pushing. They are leaning heavily to a crowd that they know that are going to consume their products. For example, like Elon becoming a MAGA help people, like MAGA people would have never bought Teslas because they hate electric cars, but because the left was shitting on Elon, all of a sudden they want electric cars. People who shitted on electric cars for a long time, all of a sudden wanted to buy a Tesla. So there is money to be made when you choose your side. That's when people like, for example, me, who doesn't really pick a side. I'm not drifting towards the Democrats. I think a lot of like Democratic politicians are fucking idiots. Also funded by AIPAC. Not a huge fan of that, like foreign influence in governments. So Elon is technically, yeah. I think Elon is smart in a sense that he understands the grift, because he used to grift to the left as well. If you, Brad, remember, before Elon turned to MAGA, he used to grift towards the left. He was all about like rainbow flags and was all about like, he was all for LGBTQ rights as well. But then he got shit on, and all of a sudden he is against it. Netanyahu is the devil. Satan Yahoo. There's nothing wrong with loving your country and want a gift back. What? What? There is nothing wrong with loving your country and wanting a gift back. You're talking about like giving a bribe so you will get a favor. There's a term for that. Paying money for favors from politicians. There's a term for that. That is not loving your country, and that's not expecting a gift back, but there is a term for that.
So with modest additional contributions, these young people's accounts could grow to over $100,000 or more by the time they turn 18. Think of it. How much money is that for somebody that started with nothing? Over 100,000, could be much more than that. To make this investment in our children's future, go to trumpaccounts.gov. Trumpaccounts.gov.
I mean, I guess the 100,000 could be correct if there was no fees, no inflation, or taxes.
And a lot of people are doing it. It's setting every record in the book. It's popular. They knew what it was going to take. I'm so proud of them. I'm so proud of the people that got it started. And now it's just taken off. One of the primary reasons for our country's stunning economic turnaround, the biggest in history, where the Dow Jones broke 50,000.
Don't talk about the Epstein files. You should be talking about Dow hitting 50,000. That was a legendary statement by Pam Bondi, the person who fucked up the release of the Epstein files quite a few times. And to be fair, Pam Bondi should be, I don't know, not in office, not the Attorney General. Because the DOJ leaked doxed the victims instead of because they were supposed to redact the information of the victims, but they did the opposite. They protected the pedophiles and they doxed the victims. And when Pam Bondi was pressed about that, he said that we should be talking about the Dow hitting 50,000. Pam Bondi should be held in contempt of Congress, 100%. And we did have in our bingo card talks about the Dow. So we have the mention of Trump accounts in Dow here. I knew from the start that Bondi was garbage. No way, none of his merch scripter. Have you seen Pam Bondi's old commercial? I wonder if I have it here somewhere. About talking about protecting Americans from pedophiles and child molesters. I wonder if I still have it somewhere. I probably have it. I wonder if I was smart enough to bookmark it. Bam bondi, bam bondi, bam bondi. I wasn't. There was a fucking old video of Bam Bondi saying that. Oh, here we go.
And calls for help for human trafficking, where young women and children are enslaved and abused. I knew we needed all hands
Here we go.
on deck. Businesses and hospitals to spot it, our great law enforcement to stop it, and tougher penalties to punish it. We're taking on Medicaid fraud, pill mills, gangs, and more. And I'll fight to put human trafficking monsters where they belong, behind bars.
And that was a lie. That was, well, maybe she thought that in 2014, but unfortunately, in 2025 and 26, she was ordered to protect those sex traffickers, pedos, by her boss. So
4 years ahead of schedule, and the S&P.
She had the chance to like pick and choose either her morals or money and power, and she chose morals. Oh no, she chose money and power as always. Money and power every time, no morals. Bam Bondi.
Hit 7,000 where it wasn't supposed to do it for many years were tariffs.
Oh, tariffs. We have tariffs. Tariffs. Praises tariffs. There we go. So we have 3 here. We only need mentioning of Greenland and Bash's quotas.
I used these tariffs, took in hundreds of billions of dollars to make great deals for our country, both economically and on a national security basis. Everything was working well. Countries that were ripping us off for decades are now paying us hundreds of billions of dollars. They were ripping us so badly, you all know that.
Foreign countries are not paying for the tariffs, but Trump knows that.
Everybody knows it. Even the Democrats know it. They just don't want to say it. And yet these countries are now happy, and so are we. We made deals. The deals are all done. And they're happy. They're not making money like they used to, but we're making a lot of money.
That's not completely true.
There was no inflation, tremendous growth, and the big story was how Donald Trump called the economy correctly, and 22 Nobel Prize winners in economics didn't. They got it totally wrong.
And that's a lie, another
really
lie.
Wrong. And then just 4 days ago, an unfortunate ruling from the United States Supreme Court. It just came down.
Supreme what?
We made deals. The deals are all done. Started with nothing. Over 100,000, could be much more than that, to make this investment in our children's future. To make a new deal could be far worse for them, and therefore they will continue to work along the same successful path that we had negotiated. An unfortunate ruling from the United States Supreme Court.
Supreme Court. Okay, that goes mumble something incoherent. Now, even though we heard what Trump said, but he mispronounced the word, so that's fucking. I'll take that.
It just came down. It came down. Very unfortunate ruling. But the good news is that almost all countries and corporations want to keep the deal that they already made, right, Scott? Knowing that the legal power that I, as president, have to make a new deal could be far worse for them, and therefore they will continue to work along the same successful path that we had negotiated before the Supreme Court's unfortunate involvement. So despite the disappointing ruling, these powerful, country-saving, it's saving our country, the kind of money we're taking in, peace-protecting. Many of the wars I settled was because of the threat of tariffs. I wouldn't have been able to settle them without.
How many wars?
They remain in place under fully approved and tested alternative legal statutes. And they have been tested for a long time. They're a little more complex, but they're actually probably better, leading to a solution that will be even stronger than before. Congressional action will not be necessary. It's already time-tested and approved. And as time goes by, I believe the tariffs paid for by foreign countries will...
They are not paid for fucking by foreign countries. Does anyone believe that? I hope nobody in the chat believes that. Because that is a complete fucking lie. Trump knows that. Trump knows that's a lie. But he can't say the word that he's taxing the US companies. Brad, you do know that foreign countries aren't paying the tariffs. Brad, come on. Who is paying the tariffs? Brad? Brad? Who is paying the tariffs? Nah, just kidding. Didn't mean to put you on the spot. But at the end of the day, the consumer is paying. The US consumer is paying the tariffs.
Will, like in the past, substantially replace the modern day system of income tax, taking a great financial burden off the people that I love.
Trump removing income tax and replacing it with another tax is kind of funny. You know? Why do I remember that? There was a number that it would be impossible to replace income tax with tariffs on the current number of tariffs like revenue the United States is getting. Because the income tax is so fucking high that the current tariff revenue wouldn't be enough to balance the checks. Let's see if I can find it somewhere. Hey Adam, thanks for the follow. No, thanks for the sub. So, income tax. So, at the moment, tariffs are bringing in 195 billion, around 200 billion. Okay. And income tax is bringing up 2.6 trillion. So 11 times more. Right? So that would be kind of hard for them to try and get that. But I know math is kind of hard for Trump. So maybe he thinks that at some point they're going to get that 2.6 trillion from tariffs alone. But if you think about it, Trump is promising to remove the income tax with tariffs. he's also promising those tariff checks, or what the fuck did he call them? Refund checks. So he's also promising to give like direct money to US citizens from tariffs. There isn't enough tariffs to fund all of that. And even if there was, it is still taxing the US citizen.
Moving forward, factories, jobs, investment, and trillions of dollars will continue pouring into the United States of America because we finally have a president who puts America first. I put America first. I love America. For decades before I came along, we had the exact opposite. From trade to healthcare, from energy to immigration, everything was stolen and rigged in order to drain the wealth out of the productive, hardworking people who make our country great, who make our country run. Under Biden and his corrupt partners,
Mentions Joe Biden.
in Congress and beyond, it reached a breaking point with the Green New scam, open borders for everyone. They poured in by the millions and millions from prisons, from mental institutions. They were murderers, 11,888 murders. They came into our country. You allowed that to happen. And record-setting inflation that cost the typical family $34,000 in just a speck of time. Now, the same people in this chamber who voted for those disasters suddenly used the word affordability, a word. They just used it. Somebody gave it to them.
Talks about the
Knowing
affordability.
full well that they caused and created the increased prices that all of our citizens had to endure. You caused that problem. You caused that problem. They knew their statements were a lie. They knew it. They knew their statements were a dirty, rotten lie. Their policies created the high prices. Our policies are rapidly ending them. We are doing really well. Those prices are plummeting downward.
Fact check. No, they're not.
The price of eggs is down 60%, Madam Secretary. Thank you. The cost of chicken, butter, fruit, hotels, automobiles, rent is lower today than when I took office by a lot. And even beef, which was very high, is starting to come down significantly. Just hold on a little while. We're getting it down. And soon you...
Oh my fucking... like, I'm not a native English speaker. You guys know that. That's not a secret. But, like... I would assume from the President of the United States, this is the same with Biden, that you can fucking speak English. Significantly. Trump, significantly.
Is starting to come down significantly. Just hold on.
No, Trump, let's try again.
Is starting to come down significantly. Just hold.
Trump, come on, you can do it. One more time.
Is starting to come down significantly. Just hold on.
Significantly. Not making fun of old people, but you're a native English speaker, so you should know how to pronounce that.
And soon you will see numbers that few people would think were possible to achieve just a short time ago.
Soon you will see numbers that some people thought that could be possible. I think he was supposed to say impossible. Soon you will see numbers that some might think could be possible. That sentence makes no fucking sense as a brag, because we know this is... That speech was amazing. Okay.
nobody can believe when they see the kind of numbers, and especially energy, when they see energy going down to numbers like that, they cannot.
Okay, now I'm 100% sure that he was supposed to use impossible instead of possible.
Believe it. It's like another big tax cut. 7,888 murders. They came in. Is starting to come down significantly. Just hold on a little while. We're getting it down. And soon you will see numbers that few people would think were possible to achieve just a short time ago. Nobody can believe when they see the kind of numbers, and especially energy, when they see energy going down to numbers like that, they cannot believe it.
Yeah, like,
it's like another
this is rambling.
Tax cut. I'm also confronting one of the biggest ripoffs of our times, the crushing cost of health care caused by you. Since the passage of the Unaffordable Care Act, sometimes referred to as Obamacare, big insurance companies have gotten rich. It was meant for the insurance companies, not for the people. With our government giving them hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars a year as their stock prices soared 1,000, 1,200, 1,400, and even 1,700%, like nothing else. That's why I introduced the great health care plan. I want to stop all payments to big insurance companies and instead give that money directly to the people so they can buy their own health care, which will be better health care at a much lower cost.
Unfortunately, we do know how capitalism works. So if the government is giving money directly to the people of the United States, what do you think medical help will cost after that? It's the same thing. If you decrease taxes, prices go up because companies react to people having more money to spend. So if you give people money to spend on healthcare prices go up. I mean, if you don't have any regulation of the healthcare prices, they will go up. And there were calculations already done that the money that they're going to give to the people of the United States isn't going to be enough. Yes, you can choose your healthcare provider as you are at the moment, but it is not going to be enough. And before anybody says that, like, they should adapt to the European version, that's not applicable for the United States, because United States have almost 350 million people, like between 340 and 350 million people living in the United States. So applying a method that is used in, for example, Finland isn't applicable because Finland has 5 million people. But then again, I think the best healthcare solution would be to let the states do their own thing. I use Colorado quite often because Colorado has like 2.5 times, 3 times the GDP of Finland. 2 to 2.5 times the GDP of Finland. And approximately the same population, which is 5 million. So the state of Colorado technically could have the same sort of healthcare plan than Finland has, which is a mix of public healthcare and private healthcare. But that's just like, I don't think they're even thinking about that because they have their own benefactors to please. So that's why they are always like not even looking outside the box, because they think they know better than everybody else. But around the world, there are better versions of healthcare than what the United States has. But they can't admit that because they need to invent everything. It angers me that we're closing up on the pedophile here. Tulsi Gabbard didn't seem that happy to be there.
Requires maximum price transparency. That's a big deal. Sounds so simple, so big. And I did that in my first term, and the Democrats immediately terminated it with full knowledge that they were doing a very bad thing for the people. Of course, we're going to go way up, and that's what happened, and now I'm bringing them way down on health care and everything else. I'm also ending the wildly inflated cost of prescription drugs like has never happened before.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
Other presidents tried to do it, but they never could. They tried. Most didn't try, actually. But they tried. They said they tried. They couldn't do it. They didn't even come close. They were all talk and no action. But I got it done. Under my just enacted most favored nation agreements, Americans.
That only applies for a set number of prescription medicine. Not everything. It's a good start, but it's not everything. They should put Big Pharma, back them up to a corner and force them to act on everything, not just a selection of them. Kind of weird that it includes like prescriptions like Ozempic or other like obesity medicine.
Who have for decades paid by far the highest prices of any nation anywhere in the world for prescription drugs will now pay the lowest price anywhere in the world for drugs.
Even that's not true.
The lowest price.
Hey, we got one. Showed annoyed Democrats. I think that was one. Annoyed Democrat is shown. So we have Dow, affordability. We have quite a few already.
So in my first year of the second term, should be my third term, but strange things happen.
Yeah, like the Constitution. Like if Trump won 2020, he wouldn't be president on his third term. But then again, we do know that Trump doesn't really give a fuck about the Constitution, so it's kind of a throwaway gag. Also, that's kind of mentioning the election fraud, so claims 2020 election was stolen, even though he didn't directly say it. But we take that.
I took prescription drugs, a very big part of healthcare, from the highest price in the entire world to the lowest. That's a big achievement. The result is price differences of 300, 400, 500, 600% and more, all available right now at a new website called Trump RX.
Percentages are still hard for Trump.
.gov, and I didn't name that one either, by the way.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
And here tonight is the very first customer ever to get that big discount, and it is big. Catherine Rayner. For 5 years, she had her bills. Tonight, I'm pleased to announce that I have negotiated the new Ratepayer Protection Pledge. You know what that is?
Nope.
Paid all cash and turned those out Medicaid. Since I took office, the typical 401k balance is up by at least $30,000. That's a lot of money. We have millions and millions of people, because the stock market has done so well, setting all those records, your 401ks are way up. Yet half of all of working Americans still do not have access to a retirement plan with matching contributions from an employer. To remedy this gross disparity, I'm announcing that next year my administration will give these often forgotten American workers, great people, the people that built our country, access to the same type of retirement plan offered to every federal worker. We will match your contribution with up to $1,000 each year. As we ensure that all Americans can profit from a rising stock market, let's also ensure that members of Congress cannot corruptly profit from using insider information.
That is actually a good thing. That's something that I can agree with. Like we talked about this on the yesterday's stream that I think no politician should have any stocks or being in the stock trade, and definitely not insider trading. They should be working for the people and for the country. They shouldn't have any foreign interest giving them money. No lobbying allowed, no corruption, no stock trade, nothing. They can't sit in any boards of any companies. If you're a politician, you're doing that for the greater good, not for yourself. So it's a good start to that they would ban insider trading in Congress. They should ban it, insider trading in like everywhere when it comes to politics. But they need to take that one step further, which is if you take money from any outside source, then your government fucking paycheck to be a politician, straight to jail. Straight to fucking jail. Death row. I don't care. You're a corrupt fucking hack. Death row.
They stood up for that. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Did Nancy Pelosi stand up if she's here? Doubt it. Pass the Stop Insider Trading Act without delay.
Yeah, 100% on that.
I wasn't sure if anybody even on this side was going to applaud for that. I'm very impressed. Thank you. I'm very impressed. But when it comes to the corruption that is plundering, it's plundering America. There's been no more stunning match your contribution for that. I'm very impressed. Thank
Listen
you.
again.
I'm very impressed.
Bit of a stumble there.
But when it comes to the corruption that is plundering,
Blundering.
it's plundering America. There's
America.
been no more stunning example than
APAC.
Minnesota.
No. Let's take it back. I will correct.
That. I'm very impressed. Thank you. I'm very impressed. But when it comes to the corruption that is plundering, it's plundering America.
Is APAC.
There's been no more stunning example.
And there is also like
Minnesota.
fraud in other places.
Members of the
In a lot of states around the
Somali
United States.
community have pillaged an estimated $19 billion from the American taxpayer. Oh, we have all the information. And in actuality, the number is much higher than that. And California, Massachusetts, Maine, and many other states are even worse.
California claims fraud in California. There we go.
This is the kind of corruption that shreds the fabric of a nation, and we are working on it like you wouldn't believe. So tonight, although started 4 months ago, I am officially announcing the war on fraud to be led by our great Vice President, J.D. Vance.
That's a bit of an issue for Trump. I don't have any faith that J.D. Vance will do a good job because, Brad, you probably know this, but Trump has a horrible track record throughout 2025 and in 2026 releasing convicted fraudsters. How can you announce war on fraud when, let me get you the numbers. $44. And there's some big ones like Trevor Milton, Todd and Julie Grizzly, Rod Blackout. There's big names. So it's kind of hypocritical that Trump is declaring war on fraud. But I think it's just like selective fraud. They're turning a blind eye to their favorite fraud. And they're just selecting blue states again. They should just go to Florida and see what's happening.
He'll get it done.
Don't think so.
Find enough of that fraud, we will actually have a balanced budget overnight. It'll go very quickly. That's the kind of money you're talking about. We'll balance our budget. The Somali pirates who ransacked Minnesota remind us that there are large parts of the world where corruption and lawlessness are the norm, not the exception. Importing these cultures through unrestricted immigration and open borders brings those problems right here to the USA. And it is the American people who pay the price in higher medical bills, car insurance rates, rent, taxes, and perhaps most importantly, crime. We will.
Okay, so that's an interesting statement about all the Somalis living in United States saying that they're all Somali pirates, which actually has a racist undertone. But that would be the same that I would declare everybody who ever met Epstein is a convicted pedophile, just because Epstein is a pedophile. Although many of them are, but I didn't hear all. Come on. It's not our first Trump speech. We know what he does.
Be led by our great Vice President J.D. Vance. He'll get it done. Find enough of that fraud, we will actually have a balanced budget overnight. It'll go very quickly. That's the kind of money you're talking about. We'll balance our budget.
That is not even. That is not even closely true. They can't balance the budget on the fraud money. It is good that they're catching fraud. Don't get me wrong. I think every single fraudster should be in jail. That's, for example, why the 44 people that Trump pardoned for fraud should be put back to jail. 100%. Like, I have nothing against, like, catching criminals and put them to jail. If they committed fraud, that's illegal. So, straight to jail.
Remind us that there are large parts of the world where corruption and lawlessness are the norm, not the exception. Importing these cultures through unrestricted immigration and open borders brings those problems right here to the USA. And it is the American people who pay the price in higher medical bills, car insurance rates, rent, tax.
That's a interesting. Well, that's not a unique talking point from Trump. Like blaming the immigrants for higher cost of car insurances, medical bills, like rent and others. That's a false accusation spread around Europe as well. So we're really well equipped when it comes to that.
And perhaps most importantly, crime. We will take care of this problem. We're going to take care of this problem. We are not playing games. Delilah.
Delilah.
Delilah Colburn was only 5 years old in June 2020. Did not speak English and cannot read even the. Her mother, Jacqueline, went home to Republican patriots in Congress. Thank you. Thank you. Violently and viciously. Her heartbroken mother is in the gallery to remind everyone in this chamber exactly why we are deporting illegal alien criminals to our country at record numbers, and we're getting them the hell out of here fast. We don't want them.
I mean, acting on criminal acts, murderers, rapists, killers, whatever their like background is, whether they're Americans or whether they're immigrants, the punishment should be the same, you know? Whether they're law enforcement officers or whether they're politicians. If you murder someone, if you kill someone, if you rape someone, the punishment should be the same. Right? So, in that case, like, there's nothing, I don't really agree with that. It is just the emphasis on targeting the illegal immigrants and turning a blind eye to your, well, the rich and powerful. There is, like, in the last stream as well, we were talking about, there's two separate set of rules. There's the rules for us commoners and there's the rule for the rich. So, if you want a pardon in the United States, you need to pay millions. As you can see, if you look into those 44 pardons of the fraudsters, they all donated money to Trump. So the cost of getting a pardon for your crimes is about like 20, 30 million. Us normal people don't have that sort of money. But yeah, 100% I agree. Like, if you do a crime, you should get the punishment fitting it. Regardless if you're an immigrant, illegal immigrant, or a US citizen, or, I don't know, the President of the United States. I don't think anyone should have immunity. That's a bit of a hot take. But it's wild calling, like, stating that Somali pirate thing.
They have instituted another Democrat shutdown, the first one costing us 2 points on GDP. 2 points we lost on GDP, which probably made them quite happy, actually.
Well, I think we can end the stream on this.
In my opinion, you know, I hear the Democrats are going to be blamed and the Republicans are going to be blamed. I actually think the president would be blamed. If there is a shutdown, and it's not going to be a horrible shutdown because, as you know, things will sort of keep.
Well, it was a partial shutdown, right?
If there is a shutdown, I think it would be a tremendously negative mark on the president of the United States.
I think that's a good statement from Trump from back in 2013, talking about shutdowns. And I do agree. It is because of Trump. It is because of Biden. Like, whoever sits as the president, if there's a governmental shutdown, as Trump said in 2013, it's on the president. But as usually, when you're sitting on the throne yourself, you don't hold the same set of morals that you might have when you didn't sit on the throne and somebody else sat on the throne that you want to have. All right. Hey, thanks for joining in. Hey, Brad, thanks for keeping me company and everybody in the chat as well. I have to go to work tomorrow, so I need to get to sleep. Unfortunately, we didn't get to the end of the State of the Union. There's still so much fucking going on. But we got to the Somali pirate one that Brad mentioned early in the stream. So at least we have that. All right. Tomorrow we're gonna cover other news as normally. And also, if I find something interesting or fun to talk about with the State of the Union, we're probably gonna revisit that also tomorrow. So thanks for dropping by and hope to see you again. Take care, guys.